All right, good morning, everyone. Hope all is well and everyone's doing all right. All right, so we're gonna finish 7.1 today and get into 7.2. So last class, we ended up stopping at functions, so that's what we'll pick up with right now. So functions, if an equation in two variables, x and y is what we're dealing with, yields precisely one value of y for each value of x, we say that y is a function of x. All right, so that takes us into function notation. Y is equal to f of x. F parentheses x is the same, the way you say that is f of x. And that means y is a function of x. All right, scrolling up a little. Of course, let me know if I scroll up too far. So if I want to put a function or an equation in function notation, if I have y equal to 2x plus 1, if I substitute f of x for y, that's considered being in function notation. So y and f of x are interchangeable. Once again, y is equal to f of x. So if I have y equal to 2x plus 1, f of x equal to 2x plus 1 is the exact same thing. Right, done with the black. So what that allows is for someone to give you instructions with the limited amount of words possible. If they give you this statement right here, find f of 3, or if they just said f of 3 and you want to find it, that's actually giving you instructions to plug 3 into the function without them saying but so much. So if you have f of 3, your function should already be defined, f of x. And that means take 3, plug it into the function wherever you see x. So that's what we did here in the green. F of 3 is going to be 2 times 3 plus 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 to give us 7. So f of 3 is equal to 7. Also, if I want to extract the ordered pair from that, that would be 3, 7, because x was 3. X is your input, y is your output, 3 and 7, x and y. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, let's go to the next thing. All right, so given that f of x is equal to 3x plus 7, g of x is equal to 2x squared minus 1, and h of r is equal to r cubed minus 2r squared plus 5. It said find f of 1, g of 0, and h of negative 5. Give you a chance to write it down in a second. All right, so just want to make sure we guard against doing this incorrectly. What you're not supposed to do is plug 1 into each one of these functions, plug 0 into each one, plug -5 into each one, and get 9 different numbers. All the reason I'm saying it is because someone's done it before. So I just want to make sure we're okay. So f of 1 means you're going to take 1 and plug it into just the f function. And that's what we did in the green. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 7 will give us 10. Then we're going to take 0 and plug it into our g function. 2 times 0 squared minus 1. 0 squared is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. Minus 1 will give us -1. And then for that last one, we're going to take -5, plug it into h. And that'll be -5 cubed, which is -125. -5 squared is 25. -2 times 25 is -50. Then -125 and -50 is -175. Plus 5 will give you -170. Questions, make sure we're okay. All right, anybody holding on to it? All right, one last thing out of this section, the vertical line test. If a vertical line intersects the graph more than once, then the graph does not define y as a function of x. All right, so once again, if a vertical line intersects the graph more than once, then the graph does not define y as a function of x. So looking at the first one, we have a straight line. No matter where you draw your vertical line, it will only cross it once. So it is a function. If we look at a circle, it crosses it twice. So it means it's not a function. Same thing here, just want to use different colors. All right. So for the next one, we have a parabola. And no matter where you draw this vertical line, it would only hit it once. So it is a function. And then this other shape, even though to the left and to the far right, it's only going to touch it once. When you get here, it touches it 3 times. So that stops it from being a function. All right. Questions, questions, questions. All right, anybody still holding on to it? All right, we can go to the next page and make sure before I do it. Very good. All right. Okay, 7.2, linear functions and their graphs. So notice we're starting with point 2 or method 2. Don't forget when you go back to what we had last class, we had 3 different methods. And in 7.1, we did the first method. So here we're starting with the second method, which is graphing using your intercepts. So your x-intercept is where the graph intercepts or crosses the the x-axis, excuse me. The y-intercept is when the graph intercepts or crosses the y-axis. So for all x-intercepts, there's one characteristic to hold true, and that is y is always 0. For your y-intercepts, the characteristic that holds true is that x is always 0. Still copying, okay. All right, can I scroll up? All right, so let's use this method of graphing by using our intercepts. So let's say we have 2x plus 3y equal to 12. Doesn't matter which intercept you find first. I always find my x-intercept first, but like I said, it doesn't matter which one you decide to find first. But if you're going to go with your x-intercept, you always have to start off by letting y be equal to 0. Is anybody holding on still to the x, y-intercept up here? Anybody holding on to this? All right. So you will start off by letting y be equal to 0. That means 3 times 0 will be part of your equation or part of your calculation. 3 times 0 is 0. Then that'll leave you with 2x equal to 12. Then when you go ahead and divide both sides by 12, I said by 12, divide both sides by 2, x is equal to 6. And that leaves you with your x-intercepts of 6, 0. Your x is 6 and your y is 0. And then the same thing happens when you go to your y-intercept, except you're letting x be equal to 0. Plugging in 0 for x, 2 times 0 is 0, leave you with 3y equal to 12. Divide both sides by 3, and y is equal to 4. So just make sure you set your order pair up properly. Don't forget x always comes before y. So that's going to be 0, 4 for your y-intercept. Give you a chance to write that down. But any questions? Any questions? So we good. All right, and then graph those 2 points. And 0, 4 up to your y-axis to 4, and then 6, 0 to the right, 6. Those will be your 2 points, and that will create your line. Questions before we do at least one more? All right, next one, same practice. We have 5x minus 4y equal to 20. We want to find both of our intercepts. So plugging in 0 for y for our x-intercept. That'll be 4 times 0. That cancels out, leaving me with 5x equal to 20. Divide both sides by 5, x is equal to 4. So my x-intercept is going to be 4, 0. Next one, we let x be equal to 0. 5 times 0 is 0. And be careful here. So we have a minus 4y. So that negative sign needs to stay attached to your 4. So that's negative 4y equal to 20 divided by negative 4. Y is equal to negative 5. So the ordered pair is 0, negative 5. Any problems? Scroll up. And then once again, once you have your intercepts, grab those 2 points. And you have your line. All right, any problems, any problems? All right, I think I want to do this over here too. All right, so last few things out of this that we'll cover today. Horizontal lines. Now up to this point, we've had both X and Y involved in our equations. If all you see is Y, that means you're going to have a horizontal line. So in this case, we have Y equal to 5. Notice there's a few statements that I wrote over to the right. This means that Y is always going to be 5. Means that X can be anything. And this also means that a horizontal line will be created at 5. So if you were to grab those 3 points, you will have a horizontal line at 5. Once again, Y equal to 5 means that Y has to be equal to 5. It's going to always be 5, no matter what your order pair is. But X can be anything. And if that's the case, you'll have a horizontal line at 5. So no calculation, just observation. All right. Last one, vertical lines. So before we had Y equals, this time we have X equals. X is the only variable that you see. This time we have X equal to -2. So X is always -2. That means Y can be anything. And if that's the case, you're going to create a vertical line at X equal to -2. All right, questions, questions, questions. All right, questions, concerns, comments, everything. All right, just charge it now. Everybody done copying before we move off this page? Okay, cool. So next class, we'll do slopes, and that'll be it for 7.2. Now, let me see, go to this page. Just to make sure we're clear on where we are in the class. So next class, I may have an appointment that I may not be able to move. So pay attention to your emails. Because if that's the case, I'm going to shoot you a video. Same lecture, same type of style. It'll just be, video of me talking about slopes. So, you guys will be able to check that out at your convenience. So also that means we'll be done with chapter 6 and chapter 7's content. So notice right here, chapter 6 and chapter 7, got the test review, test 1. Test reviews, once again, are not mandatory. If you score 85 or better on it, I'll add 5 points to your test. But let's say if you go in there into Math Lab and it score you, let's say you just go in there and mess around and you get a 20 on it, it's not going to reflect on your grade. So once again, it will not affect you in any way. Let's see. So the due date is 2/20. Remember I told you there are 3 major due dates in the class: 5th week, 10th week, and then your final day of submission. So 5th week and 10th week, I have to give a grade for you as to where you stand at that moment. It is possible to have an F at 5th week and still a F at 10th week and still pull your grade up. It's just that I have to give an assessment as to where you are at that moment. So those are our major due dates. I've mapped out the 5th week. So that's why we have that right there. Oh, I was just talking about your test review. It's not mandatory to do. So if you score 85 or better on the test review, you get 5 points added to your test. So that test review does not reflect on your grade. So if you do it, great. If you don't do it, still great. So I'll just talk about the test review there. But also everything that I'm saying as far as your scores and stuff, I've already sent to you in Math Lab specifics, that email that I sent you guys. So you can always, if you forget, you can always go back there and look at how your grading is set up as far as Math Lab is concerned. Also, chapter 8 and chapter 9 will be a part of that 5th week grading. So I'll show you what we're going to do in a second, but everybody okay with Math Lab before I leave this page? Any questions? Everybody good? So 6, 7, 8, and 9. We should be done with that by February 20th. If not, then I'll adjust it, but that should be the case. All right, and then I'll have another test posted for 8 and 9 shortly. Okay. So today we did 7-1, 7-2. Thursday we'll finish off 7-2 with the slopes, whether it be me just sending y'all a video or we actually have, appointed class. Next Tuesday will be a review day. So I'm not going to do anything new. It will be your opportunity to ask whatever questions you want to ask, whether it be Zoom or face-to-face. Remember, if you're in Zoom, you can still ask your question. That'll be a free day of review day. If you don't have any questions, that'll be a short class. So I'm not doing anything new on that day. I'm not pulling any problems out of the blue. This will be on you guys to bring whatever questions to somebody to do. Oh, is it like a student or adult? Okay, well, they can't pull it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this. I'm not gonna see what they're talking about. So, what? Yes, you can let them in. I don't understand why they're not pulling the door. It's not locked. But yeah, so then next Thursday, we'll get into chapter 8. So any questions before we close? Any questions? Hey, why you just pull the door open? Huh? No, I think they don't have it so that you push it down, you just pull it. You'd have been fine. So any questions or concerns before we close? Everybody good? Everybody straight? All right, so if you guys are good, I'm good. That's it for today. Like I said, we will finish off 7.2 next class with slopes and go from there. So you guys take care and have a good one.